Hola a todos y bienvenidos a otro capítulo más de The Excavation of Barrow, donde continuamos las historias de esta mujer en busca del señor Hombros.
Good morning, Miss Bateman.
Good day, Stanley.
Que por algún motivo pues no ha aparecido.
Did you sleep well, Miss Bateman?
Regular.
Yes, thank you, Stanley.
Splendid. I'm happy to report the rain of yesterday has lifted. It's a clear morning outside. Crisp. I've prepared a room for your assistant. What time will he be arriving?
His train will get in around midday. Kenneth will also be bringing my excavation equipment.
Oh, aye. What does that entail?
Picks, shovels, buckets, lighting and such. He usually packs it in a large crate. Come to think of it, I'll need somewhere to store it.
You're welcome to use the alley behind the inn for any such bulky items.
Sí, efectivamente.
Is it safe to do such a thing?
I can assure you the local folk are not thieves, Miss Bateman.
That's not what I...
Now, say nothing more of it.
Thank you, Stanley.
I'll let you get on with your day.
I'll be back with my assistant when he arrives.
Miss Bateman,
Yes?
I've something I wish to get off my chest, as it were.
Sáquelo.
I've been tossing and turning all night, Miss Bateman. I feel rotten, I really do.
What on earth are you talking about?
As you know, I like to run an honest establishment. And well, I have not been honest with you, lass. I do know of Hobbs Barrow.
Ajá.
You do?
I do. Many here do. There are stories tied to that place, you know. If I've learned anything in this life, it's that some stones are best left unturned. Old Leonard Shoulder is someone to be wary of too. I can't tell you what to do, lass, but you'd best avoid him.
Why must I be wary of Mr. Shoulder?
The man has a certain reputation.
For what?
You've seen it already. Were he here to meet you last night?
No.
Precisely. A man not to be trusted.
Where does Mr. Shoulder live?
I can't say for sure. As I think I told you last night, he's a quiet man and keeps to himself. He only comes in here to collect his post. Leads me to believe he lives a fair distance away. Certainly not in the village itself.
Might someone around Bewley be able to help me find him?
You could ask around. As I say, lass, Bewley folk mean well. Don't forget that.
I shall return later.
Good day to you, lass. Oh, if you see Herbert around here, be sure not to feed him.
Herbert?
El
A
gato.
local stray cat. He comes in now and then searching for scraps. I'm sick of cleaning his vomit off the floor.
Quite. I'll be sure not to feed him.
Thank you.
Pues nada, en busca de...
It seems I may be fighting a battle against some sort of local superstition. Is there a single barrow in England that doesn't have some ghastly tale attached to it? Hogwash. All of it. I've a few hours until Kenneth arrives. I should use this time to find Mr. Shoulder.
Un mapa.
He looks like a rather shady character.
Bien, los
Hello.
encartes.
My name is Thomasina, and you are...
Now then, that's none of your concern, love.
Do you know a man named Leonard Shoulder?
I don't know out about no Leonard Shoulder.
What do you do around here?
Hey up, you're not scared of sticking your neb in. I look after the churchyard. Dig the graves. Ha!
What can you tell me about Hobbs Barrow?
Not to be found digging around in those things.
You know of local barrows, then?
Don't concern yourself.
What can you tell me about the church?
Aye, it's a church.
Ajá.
Quite. What can you tell me about Bewley?
Not much around here, love. Not worth mentioning to you, like.
Vamos
I
adelante.
see. Goodbye.
Ta-ra.
Tomasina, vete por ahí a preguntar a la gente. ¡Hey!
The young woman looks extremely bored by it all. Good day.
Hello, miss.
My name is Thomasina. What's yours?
Betty.
Nice to meet you, Betty. Do you know a man named Leonard Shoulder?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
What do you know of Hobbs Barrow?
Our parents don't like us talking to strangers, miss.
So you know of it?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Qué conversaciones tan interesantes y emocionantes.
What are you up to?
My brother is practicing his sword fighting technique. I'm to watch him until he tires himself out.
I'm tireless!
This time last month it were all about his teaspoon collection. This month it's swords.
Goodbye.
Bye, miss.
I don't think anyone is home. A small plaque beside the door reads Vicarage.
Ah,
I can't remove the plaque.
es la picardía.
No one here.
No hay nadie en la casa, no hay nadie en las casas.
I don't think anyone is home. In memory of Peter Black. In memory of William Ager. In memory of William Ager. In memory of Mabel Hurst. In memory of Benjamin Garkham. In memory of Millicent Smith.
Algo me dice que eso tendría
In memory of George Paxton.
interés. A menos que sea el patrón este.
In memory of Barnaby Tillett. In memory of Percival Roach. In memory of Romeo Hegg, dearly missed by his beloved Juliet.
Ajá, emocionante.
In memory of Henry Crozier. The trusty trowel, the barrow digger's best friend. Excuse me, do you think anyone would mind if I borrowed this trowel?
You help yourself, dear. Father Roach won't mind lending it. Just be sure to put it back when you're finished.
Of course, thank you.
It is more blessed to give than to receive.
A fine assortment of baked goods. A lovely treat for those who enjoy such things.
Sí, como no tengo nada de dinero, pues tampoco... Mapa. What the... Interesante, ¿eh? Viajes rápidos express.
Hello.
Good day. Would you like to buy one of these cakes, pet?
No tengo nada.
What kind of cakes do you have?
I have some lovely Bakewell puddings, the sweetest marriage of almond and jam. I can tell you're not from around here, because if you were, you would know about my Bakewell puddings. They are quite famous.
Alas, I'm not carrying any money with me.
That's unfortunate, pet. I'm sorry, I can't give them away for free.
No, si no los
The money
pido.
goes to the church, you see, and one cannot shirk one's duty to the church.
I understand. My name is Thomasina. What's yours?
Mrs. de Plancy.
A pleasure to meet you, Mrs. de Plancy.
Likewise, pet.
Tell me about yourself, Mrs. de Plancy.
About me? What would you possibly want to know about me? I've been attending St. Edmund's Church my whole life. I always want to help where I can, so I sell my baked goods, and all the proceeds go to its upkeep. This place means so much to me.
Investiguemos la historia local.
What can you tell me about St. Edmund's Church?
Isn't it the finest building? It's been standing here since the 12th century. The box pews in the nave are very fine and date back to the 17th century. The door is open if you'd like to worship.
Thank you, Mrs. Duplancy. Do you know a local man called Leonard Shoulder?
Yes, I know Leonard. What business do you have with him?
It's a long story, but I'm trying to find where he lives.
I'm afraid I don't know, dear. Father Roach has access to the parish register. He might be able to help you.
Pistas. El padre cucaracha.
What can you tell me about Father Roach?
He is a lovely man and an exemplary servant of the Lord. He's been the vicar of St. Edmund's for many years.
¿Dónde encontraré al padre Coco Roach? Es Coco. Su nombre es Coco.
Where can I find Father Roach?
At this time of day, he'll be taking his exercise in Herne Wood, to the west of the village.
Thank you. I'll go find him.
Be sure to listen out for his merry whistling. Such a jolly man.
Ajá. Y preguntaremos las cosas oscuras del pueblo.
What do you know of Hobbs Barrow?
Hobbs what?
Hobbs Barrow, a local burial mound.
The only place of burial I know about and care for is in this very churchyard.
Thank you for your time.
Lord be with you.
Está cerrada porque no está el padre. Ah, no, está abierto. Emocionante.
Goodness me, look at these box pews. I've never seen any as tall as that before. Most unusual architecture, even for the Normans.
Alguien ha perdido un...
Someone has left a necklace hanging here. A silver cross. Sterling by the look of it. Maybe I can reunite it with its owner. The pews are contained within compartments that can be locked. I've seen a similar design in other Norman churches around England, but this is a particularly impressive example. Locked. Locked as well. I think they all might be. Those have seen better days. The flowers have long since dried out. I don't want them. A memorial list of former vicars. They stretch back several hundred years. A memorial
¿Algo
list of
interesante?
former... They stretch...
No.
I can admire the craftsmanship from afar. Stained glass depictions of various biblical scenes. It's not my specialist area. I can admire the craftsmanship from afar. This must be where the local vicar sacrifices the newborn. I've no time for such things.
Vale, salgamos a lo mejor es esta mujer. Una puerta.
It's locked.
Me lo imaginaba. Muchacha, disculpe. ¿Reconoce usted este globo? Digo,
Do you
este
recognize this
globo.
glove?
Este guante.
No, pet.
Never mind.
¿Y es suya esta cruz?
Excuse me. I found this necklace inside the church. Is it yours?
No, pet. Perhaps someone left it behind yesterday. You keep hold of it for now. I'll ask around at the next service.
Are you sure?
I trust you.
Ajá. El padre Carras. ¡Ah! ¡Qué miedo! ¿Padre? ¿Padre? Oiga. Está... Eh, mm, ah, se encuentra bien.
Very sorry. Oh, the shame. This malaise will not pass. Oh, the nausea. I need your help, young lady.
Tell me what you need.
Let the blood from my arm.
Excuse
¿Qué?
me?
Cut me. I beg you.
Le han cortado, le han drogado o algo.
Ouch! The broken lens is extremely sharp.
Bien, bueno, eso es... Oh, tengo un guante.
Perhaps I shouldn't risk soiling this glove until I find its owner.
Por todos los...
This handkerchief was a gift from my mother. I hope she will understand. This should work.
Chan, 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 chan.
I don't wish to look too closely.
Hazlo.
I'm not going near it. It's... Are you sure you want me to do this?
Yes, it will cure me of my ills.
I shall do as you ask, Father.
Thank the Lord for my spare pair. God bless you.
¿Qué le ha
I
pasado?
already feel quite better.
I'm glad, Father.
The rapid healing properties of bloodletting cannot be overstated. I'm Frederick Roach, vicar of St. Edmund's Church.
My name is Thomasina Bateman. It's a pleasure to meet you.
¿Qué le ha pasado?
Are you feeling better?
Yes, thank you.
What ails you, Father Roach?
I just ate a rotten berry, that's all.
No me lo
I
creo.
like to pick blackberries for my supper, you see. They are quite delicious, as long as you mind the bramble. My apologies again. I wish we had met in different circumstances.
No me lo creo.
Are you from Bewley originally?
I was born in our very own St. Edmunds. It's quite the story.
Do tell.
My mother was sheltering there as a frightful tempest raged. And lo, did her waters break right there and then in that pew.
One could say that you were born into your role, Father.
Indeed. When my mother told me the story as a young boy, I knew that this was my calling.
St. Edmund's is a fine building.
Thank you for saying so. It's hard work keeping her in good shape, but our congregation is always willing to lend a hand in the Lord's name.
What is it like being the vicar here?
Every day is a blessing, my child. I have a great love for our parish, and the Lord looks after us.
What about your congregation?
Numbers have fallen over the years, I must say. But those that remain are faithful and full of His Spirit.
I'm looking for Mr. Leonard Shoulder.
Oh, yes? Are you a relative?
No, it's a long story, but he invited me to Bewley.
And he didn't tell you his address?
He was to meet me last night at the Plough and Furrow, but he never came.
I see. Well, let me welcome you to Bewley on his behalf.
Thank you, Father.
No me fío. No me fío del cura vomitón. El Coco Roach.
Do you know where Mr. Shoulder lives?
Let me think. It's been many moons since I've paid him a visit.
Perhaps you could allow me to take a look at the parish register.
No need. I remember it now. A fair hike across the moors.
Could you please give me directions?
I'll take you there myself. It's the least I can do after you aided me so.
Hey, perfecto.
Capital. Thank you.
Just let me know when you're ready to pay him a visit. I'll be resting here for the time being.
Sí, usted descanse. Mientras le haré preguntas incómodas.
What do you know of Hobbs Barrow?
I can't say I've heard of it.
It's supposedly a famous local landmark.
I'm afraid I know nothing about it.
Es interesante. Cómo quiere mantenerlo oculto.
What can you tell me about Bewley?
It's a quiet town. The railway line, which I presume you arrived by, is the only news of note we've had here for years.
I've heard the new station has received a mixed reaction.
I've heard many a debate, it's true. But my role is not to adjudicate on that matter. I'm very busy in my own work, you see.
Vomitar en el bosque.
I'm ready to go to Mr. Shoulder's house.
Excellent. I feel the fresh air will do me well. Follow me.
Perfecto. Allons-y. Tu, 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 tum, 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 tu, tu, tum, tum, tu, tu, tum, tum.
Good morning, Father.
Good morning, Mrs. Duplancy. Mrs. Duplancy, this is Thomasina Bateman, a visitor to our parish.
We've already had the pleasure of meeting, Father.
Excellent. Miss Bateman, don't hesitate to try one of Mrs. Duplancy's wonderful cakes.
Yes, I've heard about her famous Bakewell puddings.
I'll be here all day, young lady. But remember, once they're gone, they're gone. Those little whelps have already gobbled up all the gingerbread.
You are doing God's work, Mrs. Duplancy.
He smiles upon us, Father.
Miss Bateman, if you'd like to follow me.
Vamos. A por el señor Hombros. Estará muerto.
Let's talk of graves, of worms, and epitaphs. Make dust our paper, and with rainy eyes, write sorrow on the bosom of the earth. Let's choose executors, and talk of wills.
No me digas que esa tumba reciente es...
Shakespeare?
Quite. Which play?
Richard II?
Correct. You are well read, Miss Bateman. Studying the work of the bard is one of my favorite pastimes. Follow me.
Un banco. En mitad de la nada.
Behold, the vast expanse of God's creation. The moors extend as far as the mortal eye can see. Beautiful, is it not?
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
The beauty of God's creation is that it takes so many forms. How can one take in such a view and not have faith? Some look at these moors and think this a godless land. But I tell you, he is found in all domains. The Lord's work is all about us. Tell me, Miss Bateman, do you believe in God?
I was brought up Anglican. The church was an important part of my early life, Father Roach. But what happened to my father eventually made me question things.
If you don't mind me asking, my child, what happened to your father?
He had an accident when I was very young.
Flashback al rescate.
Come along now, Thomasina. Let's get out of the rain.
Ajá. ¿Esa es la madre? Parece embarazada.
Remember what I told you, all right? Be a good girl. People are unwell here. They don't want to hear you running about making noise. Understood?
Yes, Mother.
Good. And don't annoy the nurses.
I promise I won't.
Good. Now, let's see your father.
Mummy is crying. Daddy is sleeping. Daddy, wake up! Daddy, wake up!
Mala cosa.
Mummy?
Good evening, Mr. Bateman. Hello, little one. You must be Thomasina?
Yes.
My name is Nurse Blaketon. I just need to talk to your mummy for a little bit. I'm sorry to disturb you, Mrs. Bateman. Mrs. Bateman?
Will he ever talk again, Nurse Blaketon?
The doctor is uncertain, Mrs. Bateman. There is the possibility that Mr. Bateman won't regain any movement at all. But we will do our utmost to look after Mr. Bateman here at Ticehurst, ma'am. He will have a nurse by his side at all times, I can assure you.
Pero no dicen nada del accidente. ¡Guau! ¡Ojos!
What sort of god would allow this fate to befall such a kind and honest man?
I'm sorry to hear this. God moves in mysterious ways, but he loves us all. Come along now.
Hello.
Adiós, ¿eh?
She scampered off in a hurry. Who was that?
Some primitive folk make their home out on the moors. I suggest you keep your wits about you when you are exploring, and don't stray too far from Bewley.
I see. How much farther to Mr. Shoulder's house?
Still quite a walk, I'm afraid, but we'll get to him soon enough. Now then, take a look at this.
Es que vaya tela. O sea, un túmulo.
Legend
O
has
digo,
it that
un...
this cairn has stood here for over 1,000 years.
How remarkable.
The Devil's Toe.
I beg your pardon?
That's what it's called. The Devil's Toe.
Oh, I see.
Come now, onward.
We walked and walked across that vast, featureless landscape.
Es que es eso. Se fueron... Se van del pueblo y dices, ¿dónde vive
All the
este
while,
hombre?
Father Roach was whistling away merrily. Just as I had begun to wonder if we were hopelessly lost, a building emerged from the mist. Mr. Shoulder's cottage.
Here we are, Miss Bateman. Unless my memory fails me completely, this is Mr. Leonard Shoulder's house.
Thank you for your help, Father Roach.
Now, no need to thank me after your providential assistance today. However, I have something to ask you.
Yes?
Please don't tell Mrs. de Plancy about my little scene in the woods. She will only fret. The poor dear woman has enough on her mind as it is.
I shan't mention it.
Thank you. You'd better see if Mr. Shoulder is in.
Sí, sea lo mejor.
Mr. Shoulder? Is Thomasina Bateman here? I'm here in Bewley as discussed.
Maybe try again. His hearing probably isn't the best at his age.
Mr. Shoulder, you heard... It appears Mr. Shoulder... Curses.
Perhaps you could try the handle?
It's locked.
¿Nada? ¿Ni
No
nada?
sign of life?
None. The window is nice and clean. The dwelling is by no means abandoned. Mr. Shoulder has stacked blocks of wood neatly beneath this small lean-to.
Very neat and tidy.
That glove looks familiar. wonder if it matches the glove I found behind the plough and furrow. The gloves are a pair. Does this mean Mr. Shoulder was in the alley last night? Why didn't he come inside to see me?
Buena pregunta.
Perhaps he's gone for a stroll.
Possibly.
I'd suggest you call back later, my child.
¿Sin
I
ropa?
myself must make my way back home. I have some matters to attend to at the church. Shall I accompany you back to Bewley?
Sí.
Let's go.
As I say, my child, Mr. Shoulder will make himself known. Do not lose faith.
I'm rather frustrated by this situation.
And now, things move at a slower pace out here. Something you may not be so accustomed to. Come now, Miss Bateman.
Well, Mr. Shoulder, you've brought me to Bewley, and now you're nowhere to be found.
Sí, es interesante. Ahora aparecerá por la ventana. Ah, no.
As we trudged silently back to Bewley across those cold moors, I made a new resolution.
Abofetear al señor Hombros.
I would find Hobbs Barrow myself, with or without Mr. Shoulder.
Y sí, bueno, sabemos que existe, porque volvió pálida y esas cosas, pero...
The train! That must be Kenneth.
Kenneth?
My assistant.
I see. Well, Miss Bateman, I really must attend to some other matters. I hope Mr. Shoulder finds his way to you.
Thank you for your help, Father Roach.
My pleasure. Parting is such sweet sorrow.
Romeo and Juliet?
Correct. That I shall say good night, till it be morrow. Lord be with you.
I should go meet Kenneth at the station.
Hombre, solamente nos quedan 4 cosillas más. Ajá. Hombre, mira quién está ahí.
Where is Kenneth?
El señor Meón está ahí.
He was supposed to wait for me at the station. Well, that's one mystery solved. It's Arthur Tillett. What's he doing in there? Mr. Tillett, where did you go last night?
Have we met?
Last
Perdona?
night at the Plough and Furrow.
Oh, Miss Bateman. I were blind drunk last night and woke up with a stinking headache.
You still smell like a brewery.
Ha!
Sorry.
You went to use the lavatory and never came back, Mr. Tillett. I searched everywhere for you.
I think I remember you bought me a drink. Then it's all a blur. I woke up in my bed this morning with my wife sour at me for waking her at some ungodly hour.
Se lo merece. Pero vamos a dejarlo aquí por hoy. Esas han sido las chorreaventuras de Black Oak y esto ha sido un capítulo más de Hobbs Barrow. La no excavación, porque todavía no hemos llegado allí, entonces no hay excavación en Hobbs Barrow. Pero en algún momento a lo mejor excavamos algo porque tenemos una pequeña palita. Y a lo mejor nuestro asistente ha llegado con dinero y con material. Pero quién sabe. Así que nada, hasta la próxima. Adiós.